Hey, also, I had a couple questions about how I made the copper chain for my recovered electrician's knife that I did. And so this is called a cotter pin chain because it looks like it has been assembled with a bunch of cotter pins. And so just kind of wanted to walk through briefly how I did that. First thing I did was I actually used some copper that I reclaimed from a transformer from a low pressure sodium light that was just thrown away. And this is the copper that I ended up with. It had a coating on it from where it was wound around the transformer. So the first thing you need to do with copper if you're going to work it is, and by work I mean manipulate it, is anneal it. And so you just take a propane torch and just roast it. And that was the first thing I did, which also burned all the coating off of it. Also gave it a nice little patina, so win-win. And when you get your wire annealed, I cut mine down into little pieces that were 2 1/8 inches long. And depending on what you want your chain to look like, you might want to cut them a little shorter, you might want to cut them a little longer, but if you want a chain that looks uniform, you need to make sure they're all cut the same length. 2 1/8 seemed to work well for me. This chain, I measured it with a pair of calipers, and it came out to 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, 1.5 millimeters, or 0.06 of an inch. So, if you're interested. And once they're cut down to 2 1/8, you just bend them over like this. I took mine, clamped it into the end of a pair of vice grips, and right here in my vise I've got a board that has a roofing nail, just like this one, driven into it with the head cut off with a hacksaw. And I just take it, and the first thing I do is I kind of straighten it out, so it takes it from a horseshoe to something a little more like that. And then I take a pair of flat pliers and just kind of crimp the copper around the nail. And if you want a larger eye, then you use a larger diameter nail. If you want a smaller eye, which wouldn't work really for this wire, you use a smaller diameter nail. That's just aesthetics. And that way it comes out looking a little more like a cotter pin. Go with the vice grips, get your cutters. You got a little boogered up end right there where it was in your vice grip, so you just cut that off. Then grab your smallest pair of needle nose and grab your chain. Find the last link on your chain and pass it through that last link, like so. Grab the end with the tip of your needle nose pliers, just the tip, and then roll it over so that the feet of those two legs come back and touch the back side of the link you just created. And there's your new link. I found that about 16 of these make a foot, so get at it.